Good morning, you all. So it is 7:53 in the morning. I'm still at the rest stop. I've actually been here for about 12 hours. You're only supposed to be here for 8 hours. One of these days I'm gonna eventually get kicked out of a rest stop, but hasn't happened yet. We'll see. I don't know if anyone actually cares. There's tons of spots, so I don't think that they, are worried about it from that perspective. There were 6 other cars here besides me, and the truck thing was completely overflowing. Trucks parked all over, and when there's not actual truck parking. I've been working a little bit on schoolwork and stuff this morning, and I checked all my email, but I'm just like not in the mood to do work for this second. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. But it's 7:54. It's almost 8 o'clock. I really should leave here soon. I'll go to the bathroom one more time before I leave. But I want to go to Mojave and to go to they have a picnic area. They have a visitor center, but the visitor center isn't open. Well, one of them is completely closed all the time because it was damaged or something. But the other one is not open on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And today is a Wednesday, but the picnic area will be open, so it's somewhere I could go and hang out. I won't go on a real hike, but I might kind of walk around a little bit, if you know what I mean. What in the world? It's like someone just like over there in the middle of the ground. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do next, and so I think I'm going to do is go there, and so you get to see some video of me in an actual place for a while this morning, and then I'm going to go to town, and I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to spend the night tonight. And so I was looking on the California Department of Transportation site, looking at all the rest stops, and I was looking at the rest stops in Arizona. I might come back here. I haven't decided, but I need to have time where I'm going to spend the morning, which is in the National Preserve. There's not going to be any connection, I don't think, there. So it's not somewhere for me to work. It's somewhere just to enjoy. And then where I'm going to work in the afternoon, evening, and then where I'm going to sleep. Like those are all different places, right? Well, because the idea is I want to wake up tomorrow morning and take a shower at Planet Fitness. And I already know which one I'm going to go to most likely. So I was just looking to see these maps, and then that all of the access points to Death Valley are closed. Those roads are closed due to inclement weather because it rained a lot. So 190 is a full closure, which is the road between Furnace Creek and Stovepipe Wells. The road from Baker, which is where Highway 15 is, to get up to that part of the world. The 190 is closed. So not going to Death Valley tomorrow. My kind of plan was that I might go that direction, if not actually to Death Valley, but that direction. But I'm not going to do that. I don't necessarily want to drive through Vegas, but there's a possibility that might be the only way. The problem is that the roads inside Death Valley are also closed. So not quite sure what I'm going to do there. Yeah. So one of the things is planning a trip in the winter where there's rain and snow and all that stuff in the desert. You really have to be very, very flexible because you just never know when stuff is going to be closed, and roads closed, places closed, stuff washed out, snow on the pass, whatever it is. So yeah. So I think I'm using my hot hands from last night that I put in a Ziploc. So I'm reactivated to keep my hands warm. That's going to be the plan today. We'll go to the bathroom one more time before I get out of here, and then go over to the picnic area. My thing that I want to do today is be able to cook food. Oh, another thing I learned. So I made rice last night, had rice with, veggies and chicken for dinner. And I ate that around, 6, 7 o'clock, something like that. And that was a bad idea because it was too much carbs. It was too much rice. That amount of food I could totally eat for lunch and have no blood sugar problems. But in the evening, if I eat a lot of carbs after 6 o'clock, I had to pee in the middle of the night. If I have to pee in the middle of the night, it's always because I have high blood sugar. I didn't even take my blood sugar because it was 1 o'clock in the morning and I was not in the mood. I had to get up, put clothes on, put my shoes on, go over to the bathroom. I mean, it's okay because there's a bathroom right here. I wouldn't say that it's nice. It looks like someone teared the place up. It actually doesn't seem dirty. It's actually just very well abused, but it's, has running water. So totally fine with me. And that was fine, but not the best, right? I do not want to have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. So if I make rice and stuff like that again, it's not going to be in the evening. If I want something hot, then I'll just make a hot tea. I have some herbal tea. I could have hot tea, or vegetable soup for that matter, if I wanted something hot. But it is not the time for me to make rice. And it kind of sucks because I liked actually making the food and kind of having it cook while I drive to where I'm going to sleep. You know, that is kind of a convenient timing. I ended up not sleeping there because it was too dark. But yeah, I really shouldn't be eating that much carbs late in the evening. So I am here at the picnic area. It was a bit much here just because I didn't quite realize that this would be a gravel road in this part. I thought that I have a problem driving on gravel roads. I've driven on all kinds of gravel roads, but when it's been raining for days, it does concern me a little bit. However, it was fine. And now I'm in this really neat picnic area. There's actually potable water here, which means drinking water, if you happen to not know. There's some displays over there. There's picnic tables back behind me. I didn't see that there was parking right next to the picnic tables, but that's fine. So right now it's drizzling though. There is a hike here that I don't know if it's a hard hike or an easy hike. However, it is 8:55 a.m. and drizzling. So I'm not going to go on the hike. What I'm hoping, I'm actually going to check the weather in a second if I have any bars. I had one bar when I was right by on the road, but I come around the other side of this rock, so I might not have any now. Yeah, I want to see if it's gonna stop soon. It's not supposed to be raining right now. It's just that it's not really raining. It's just drizzle because we're kind of in the cloud. We're in fog. I'll show you. Like you can see out there, it is fog out there. So because we're in the cloud, it's just kind of precipitating it out. So because I went up a tiny bit in elevation, you know what I'm saying? Now, there's not that much higher up and there's snow up there, but to go farther up, you have to go on a gravel road, and I've actually driven on that in this car in the snow. Well, I actually reminded me of it, and I'm going to go try to dig up those photos. I have no idea even where they are. I am going to see if I have any bars and either do or I don't, and then do stuff accordingly to that while I wait out this rain. I can totally cook. Well, it's raining a little bit. It's drizzling a little bit harder. There's a certain point, like there's no cover here, you know, there's no little roofs over the picnic tables. I don't know if you can see them over there. There's no little roofs over the picnic tables. Oh yeah, there's one right there. And there's no trees. I mean, there are trees, but they're bushy, deserty trees. So yeah, I don't know about that. They don't really have that many Joshua trees in this area. There's some over there you can see, but like not like here exactly by these rocks. So my plan is to cook food here, to hang out here, to relax. I'm going to walk a little bit around, but hopefully not in the rain. I'm going to wait it out and see if it stops. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's snowing. I got out because I heard it change the sound change. It's snowing. This is one of the things I wanted. No. There's the trail I'm not going to do. Nope. Especially not in the snow. What the heck, you know? I think it's snowing again. I have my ski coat on. I don't have the pants on. My legs are a little bit cold, but I don't want to deal with that hassle. So right now I'm just trying to boil water. The jet boil won't light. It could be that it's just too cold. I would think that it would be able to work down to 32 degrees and it's only 42 degrees, but I don't know. It wasn't lighting. So I'm going to boil water using propane. Propane still works at freezing. There's a whole thing. A lot of people use butane. Butane doesn't have as much room. And the jet boil actually uses a mix, but still. Sometimes when it's too cold, it just does not light. Propane, though, fairly reliable until really cold, and I'm not going to really cold. So hot coffee with coconut milk creamer is excellent. I can't tell you how good a hot drink feels when it's chilly and occasionally snowing. So great. Love it. These rocks are so neat. See the like holes and everything. It's a neat place to cook food. Yeah, I decided just to cook the food here on the ground because I don't want to have to carry everything all the way over there, and it would be wet anyway. So when I have things be wet, might as well just have it be close and convenient. Okay, that was lovely. So inside here, it's actually 68 degrees inside my car, even though it's 40. That's why I tend to stay warm pretty well. All right, I'm gonna get a blanket for my legs because the bottom part, the car is the coolest, and also my legs only have one layer on them, which is not really optimal. My breakfast has no dairy, so I don't have to take a pill, which simplifies my life. So I have a trivet so I can just eat out of the hot pans. My food stays nice and hot. So I'll take this off. I put the rest, half of the food I'm gonna eat now. The other half I put in this. Yes, I heated this up first. So this should just heat my food hot for 8 hours. So cook once, eat twice. So good. So good. I'm so happy. Let me show you. So we got eggs, hash browns, peppers, and lots of spices. I put Cajun spices in this one. What a great place to cook. I only have seen one person decide not to go on that trail, apparently. Looks like he went and checked it out and then was like, nope. Yeah, a strenuous trail where you have to hold on to rings in the rain and snow. Not a good idea for anybody. Okay, I'm so happy. Food, like, is such a easy way to make yourself happy, you know? It's nice and spicy. Potatoes, eggs, peppers, 3 of my favorite things that exist in the universe. Coffee with coconut creamer. I don't know if I've ever gotten that coconut creamer before. I only got it because for my art class, I had to sketch a carton. And it was one of the smallest cartons. And since it was not dairy, I was like, maybe I'll put this in my coffee. Oh my gosh. So good. I'm gonna be honest, having hot coffee. I mean, my little, jet bowl didn't work, so I had to just boil coffee in the pan, which took a while, you know. I had to boil water to rehydrate the potatoes. I had to boil water for coffee, and I had to boil water to preheat this. I did actually boiled water only twice because the first time I had enough water for the coffee and the potatoes, but I have extra. I always have at least one extra canister of propane, so I'm not worried. These potatoes, breakfast potatoes, I got at the dollar store. So $1.25 for the potatoes. Really, this is probably, I should probably split this up into 3 servings, but I'm not going to do that for most of reasons. I'm so glad with all the spices I put in here. I was thinking like, I have ketchup packets like from McDonald's or whatever, and I could put ketchup on this, but nope, doesn't need anything else. So good. All right, I'm going to focus on eating and looking at the beautiful rocks, even though my windows are now starting to fog up a lot because it's so warm in here with all the hot food. But yeah, later. It's so wild to me that it's 66 degrees inside my car and it's cold enough outside to snow. And that's something that a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, how do you stay safe when it's super cold outside? And the truth is, it doesn't get that, like, since I'm in here, I'm heating up the car. You know, that's why the windows are all fogging up. I mean, obviously it's because of condensation, but that comes from my breathing and such and the food. So it doesn't come to equilibrium with the outside. You know, I've driven the car. I had the heat on earlier. If I didn't drive anywhere, I didn't go anywhere, it would come to equilibrium eventually. I mean, I don't know. It really wouldn't. I'm in here. So I think one of the things with being in a car when it's cold outside is you want to delay the equilibrium. You want to delay the car coming to equilibrium and create a space in here. And I've talked before about putting up curtains, bed curtains. And I think in my next vehicle, I'm going to see if there's a way for me to do that. In the Subaru Outback that I plan to get, or maybe a Forester, I plan to put a curtain in here. So to keep the front space separate from the back. And leave the passenger seat in for many reasons, partly so I can, give someone a ride to the hospital, and this has actually come up, but also, or pick them up, go to the airport, all that kind of stuff. But also, so like this is a separate area. It gives me an extra stealth aspect. And I'll have the back windows tinted darker than the sides. You know what I mean? I probably just barely tint these, and maybe just for they have all kinds of different tints. I think there's one that's just like UV tint, anyway, and then have like a curtain that goes across, partly for privacy, but also for cold, so that way I can have, and this would be something mainly used in the winter, or when I'm at high elevation and it's cold. And then the space that my body is heating is a smaller space. Now that does mean that up here would get cold. So I'd have to think about what is up here. Now having my cooler up here, that might be good because then it would actually stay cooler, Cooler would stay cooler. I don't want electronics up here, so I have to think about, I could have electronics, but then I wouldn't be able to use them because I might not be able to discharge or charge because they got too cold. I can keep paperwork and books. I can keep gear. Probably wouldn't want to keep clothes because they would be really cold. I could. So yeah, anyway, it is something that I do brainstorm the next vehicle. The pluses and minuses of what I can do. It is 10:30. It took me a while to make that breakfast. More than half an hour, I think. I didn't actually time it. But lovely, absolutely enjoyable experience. The cooking was enjoyable. The food was good. Coffee was good. Overall, great. I'm excited to see if this thermos works out. This is one of my other things I'm testing on this trip. So I did the rice cooker, cooking meals, which overall worked well. I just can't eat too late in the day. And then this is my other thing. Cook once and then have 4 hours later, eat this. And so we'll see if it's hot enough. That's one of the reasons I brought my thermopen in here, is so I can see how hot this is and see if it's still hot enough to be able to eat because there's eggs in there, And these are almost dead. Not quite. And then that would be a great thing when I'm on the road. I cook some sort of late breakfast. It needs to be something that I may have, make something that goes in goes in tacos, for example, and tortillas. But then I would take the rest of it and put it in here, and then I can just eat it as a bowl, right? I could put tortilla chips in it. I don't have any tortilla chips. I really would like some tortilla chips. It's so lovely here with the snow. Look at this. You see? Yeah, look at that snow out there. Isn't that so great? Yeah. It's beautiful here. I love the desert so much. I love how the desert has this juxtaposition of being so, rocks and dirt and all that stuff. And then, but also it has this beautiful plants and all the different shapes, rocks. One of the things is when it's mountainy, like forest kind of mountains, you can't actually see the shape of the ground very well. And I really like how in the desert you can see the shapes. These kind of shapes exist in other places too, but you can't see them because it's covered with trees. And it's not that I don't like trees, but this is my favorite. Desert is definitely my favorite. But you all know that if you've been watching any of my videos, I talk about it all the time. I'm so happy that I came here today. Had a little bit of snow. I had a hot coffee and a hot meal. Got to actually cook outside. I used my ski jacket, not for skiing, for just winter clothes. Oh my gosh, I really like it. That's the other thing. It really does. If it's windy, the car will come to temp much faster. That is something that's also true. This meal would have also been great if I had some onions, but I just didn't have any. I actually meant to buy an onion, but I didn't. And you know what? I put so much I put so much Cajun seasoning in here. It is totally fine. So now I'm using my napkin just to wipe up all the food while it's still warm and get it out of here. And then I will wash the dishes in a sec. But first, I'm just going to get the actual pieces of food off. One of these days, I'm going to do a video on dishes and food safety and all that kind of stuff. Probably more than one video, probably a series. I'm going to do it after I finish my food safety class because I'm learning so much in the class. And what I'm really focusing on is the priority of things. There's certain kind of food poisoning that will make you very sick and miserable, but it won't kill you. And then there's some kind of food poisoning that will kill you. And some kind of food poisoning that will kill you no matter who you are. And there's some kind of food poisoning that really only kill people who are elderly, children, whatever. So if you're in that category, you need to really worry about it. But if you're not, you might want to take the risk. So for example, I'm going to give you a clear example. Hamburgers. Okay. So E. coli can only be cooked off if its food is cooked all the way. Otherwise, any ground meat could have E. coli in it. So if you order your burgers not well done, and I do not get my burgers well done, then there could be E. coli in it. You're taking a risk every time. Now, it's a roll of the dice. Most of the time you won't get E. coli, but you might. And now if you get your burger cooked well done, you won't have that problem. And then if you eat just a steak, you won't have that problem, because if there's any E. coli on the steak, it'll just be on the outside. It won't be inside of it, most likely. So you cook it off. You know, the issue is things that you can have that steak medium, and that's fine, because, and this is a steak of cow, of beef, not pork. That's a whole different thing. Pork is something you cook all the way. I know people don't, and I'm just like, are you like that? That is one of those things that you don't want. So anyway, I am going to do a video, or probably a video series about that, but I want to go through the whole class and actually pass the test to be certified. And then I will feel fairly comfortable talking about it. So I'm talking about both about dishes and things. Like, one of the things that I see a lot with van lifers is there's this whole thing about using vinegar to clean. And I actually want to research, is that legit? Like, and the thing is it better to use soap or use vinegar, in the sense that if you don't have true running water, you may not rinse all the soap off. So there's a danger of consuming soap worse than using vinegar and it not getting clean enough. Or maybe actually vinegar gets just as clean as soap. Like, this is something that I want to research and report back to you. And I might even ask my teacher about it. My teacher in the class is a microbiologist. So there's things like that I want to figure out. What is the best method? Cause I mean, there's times where, maybe I don't get all the soap off, right? Cause it's just, I don't have running water. I can rinse stuff, sometimes I do have access to running water, and sometimes at a campground, they have dishwashing stations, but a lot of times I don't. I just use my little spray bottle, which is not exactly running water, right? All right, let's go check out. There's an overlook very close. I have no idea what it's overlooking, but we're going to go and check it out. Thinking it's overlooking the ring thing. There's some kind of bear next to us. All right. All right, I need to put this down. Okay, I'm not doing that with a sprained foot. Let's see if I can go over there and see anything. So I'm not stepping on a rock where there's a tiny little thing holding up. That is not what I'm doing. Oh, nope. But I can see, you can kind of see down there. It looks neat. If I was physically able to do something like that, my son would love this. I'll have to tell them about it, that this would be a neat thing for them to do, but it is not for me today. If I didn't have a sprained foot, I actually would go up this little place, but not today. Not today. Yeah, this goes in the hikes I didn't do file. Okay, just doing that actually hurt my foot. I just wanted to say, oh, can I just do this? No, you cannot do that. You cannot do that, Elizabeth. Oh my goodness, my foot hurts, and I have Advil in me. So that was bad. That was a bad idea. You can only do things, you figure out if it's a bad idea if you do it. Okay, that was not a good idea. I mean, to a certain extent, you don't know what you can't do until you try to do something. You're like, oh, I cannot do this. And yep, that was something I cannot do. It was uneven ground, and it didn't even matter. I didn't have my walking sticks, but that would not have helped. It was that my ankle and foot are so unstable. I actually don't have it wrapped right this second. That would have helped a little bit if I had both wrapped in an ace bandage and also had the brace on, but I didn't do that right now. So I think I should wrap my foot. And then I think what I'm going to do is drive over to the visitor center, which is also on this little gravel road. It's just around the corner. I think I might actually have internet there. And if I have internet, I could actually do stuff. And if I could do stuff, I could just stay here and keep working. Because the thing is, as I've said, this is a working trip. And I can't go on the hikes, And I actually forgot to download books to my Kindle. So I'm not really set up for being off connection, It's funny because I'm Elizabeth off grid, and that is true that I'm not on the electrical grid, but I'm on all the other ones, and well, not the water grid, or the sewage grid. I am on the internet grid, and obviously you have to be if you're doing stuff on YouTube. I don't know how that would work. You'd have to have someone else filming it and editing it, which, you can totally be off grid, but not with a YouTube channel if you want to be off internet grid. So yeah, I think I'm going to do is route on my foot, drive over the visitor center and see if I can get any connection there. There's also a group area and a fire circle, whatever area. I mean, one of those areas might have connection, and I could try that. The other thing is there's a state park that's about halfway back to the highway that I'm thinking might have connection. And I have a state park pass, so it wouldn't cost me anything to go there. So that'd be another place I could hang out at during the day. That would be nice. I think they have a cave there. I'm not interested in doing that because obviously I can't walk. And so hiking through a cave in uneven ground? Nope. No uneven. I need paved. I need the disabled accessible route. That is what I need right now. I am the disabled person right now and need that route. This is not the place for that. However, it's beautiful and I love it. I definitely am going to come back here once I get my Subaru and drive on some of the roads. Now, I'm only going to drive on the roads that are not four-wheel drive. I mean, there's roads here that you need a Jeep. They're Jeep roads. They're not roads. They're trails. They're Jeep trails. So amazing stuff. Some of them are washed out right now, but because of the hurricane, whatever it was, and it came through last year. I don't know. So there's so many storms and weather events. I can't even keep track of them anymore. Look at that out there. Amazing blue sky, amazing clouds. Beautiful, beautiful. So I don't actually have enough bars to work here. It is like I have half a bar, which is just not enough. I think I'm going to stay here for a while. I have a art book for my art class it's a book, so I can read it. I don't need to be having connection for that. So I think I'm going to read that for a while. And then for me to do work, I'm going to have to go back that way towards the highway. If I had four-wheel drive, high clearance four-wheel drive, then there's tons of places I could go, and I actually would have internet, and be able to. I could just live here for a while until I ran out of water. But I do not have high clearance four-wheel drive. This is actually one of the places where sometimes I'll maybe I should go ahead and get four-wheel drive. But there's pluses and minuses to four-wheel drive. The biggest thing being that it really lowers your gas mileage, and obviously a Subaru Outback doesn't come as four-wheel drive. It is just all-wheel drive. So now here you can camp at any established campsite along any of the dirt roads. So it's so many places you can stay here. I'm not sure what the time limit is of how long you can be here. Maybe 14 days. I would have to look that up and see. Everywhere that I know of, in federal land, at least in the 48 connected states, there's a limit on how long you can stay there. I've seen everything from 1 week, broke glass. Well, I've seen everything from 1 week to 30 days. And the general idea is usually 14 days, but it is a range and you have to look it up when you're going to stay somewhere. So anyway, I have no idea, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to do dispersed camping here because these are not the kind of roads that my car's going to go on. There are if I kept going on this road, my car has driven on this, kept going on this road, but I don't want to be deep down in it where I have no connection because I got stuff to do. So right now I'm going to see if there's anywhere around here. I don't think there was any good places to pull over that was paved kind of pullover spots along this road. But if not, then I'm going to try the state park. First, I'm going to go there and just see what it's like, and then also I'm going to try it and just see if there's connection there, and then I can hang out in that picnic area, and that would be nice. I don't have to cook again because I already cooked and I have my food here, which will hopefully actually be hot. I can't open it, to check because that would lose heat. That would make no sense to do. But so I've been driving with no Google Maps going because this road Google Maps says it's closed. And the park is just like, it is not closed. Google Maps just, like, one time it was closed, and now Google Maps decided it's closed. You really cannot rely on Google Maps in remote places like this. It will take you down a 4-wheel drive high clearance Jeep road trail thing in a car to get here, instead of literally taking the nice paved road. I mean, or I wouldn't say it's nice, but it's pretty nice. I mean, it does have some washed up places and big potholes, but you know, for the middle of this, it's nice. But what I realized is it's actually really nice driving with no Google Maps on. I mean, I know where I'm going. This road only goes to 2 places. I went to one of them. I'm going to the other, you know? And it is nice to just be chill and not be looking at how many minutes, whatever, however many minutes it is, however many minutes it is. Knowing how many minutes this is not going to help me at all. Like, I'm just going there. It's not like I need the maps to lose my way, because it's just like a road and then I turn and then it's there. 2 dead end. Well, that's a dead end road. This turns into a gravel road, but it still does not, you know, you're not going to get lost. And so, yeah, it is, there's something very peaceful about just driving without letting Google Maps, blah, 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 give you all kinds of data. I highly recommend it. So, apparently they're closed. And they didn't put a sign anywhere until I got here. Oh well, so we learned that this place is closed. I'm actually gonna walk up there, and this will be easy to turn around right here, but I'm gonna walk up there and see what the sign actually says. Okay, it's only open Friday through Sunday, September through June. Today's Wednesday, so it is not open. Oh well, you learn things. I really think that sign should be 4 miles that way, but I'm not going to be able to tell the state of California what to do, apparently, and how they place their signs. The sign that says, oh, it's only open Friday through Sunday, I think should be at the place where you start driving down that road. Anyway, so you can't park here, and so I don't think it's okay for me to just be, here. However, I will say I have internet here. Yep, I just checked. I have like 90 of 5G here. What a world we live in. And the reason is that the interstate is within line of sight. So there's probably interstate. So this would have been a cool place if it was Friday through Sunday. So I don't know. I want to stop and work somewhere, but I really don't think there was any good places along that road. Okay. I found a little spot where I could pull off, and it's nice gravel, so I wasn't going to sink into the sand or anything. And this is actually in not the state park. This is in the National Preserve, so I don't think anyone would care. So I'm just going to sit here and do stuff at this random spot and have this be my little place. Now, there's no bathroom here. However, I don't think anyone would be on this road, so if I just wanted to go right over on the other side of my car and pee, I think it's okay. All right, let's see if this is still at food safe temperature. Okay, feels like I can feel a little warmth. Yep, 149 degrees Fahrenheit. So we are at a food safe temperature. Has to be higher than 135. Now, only 149, so I don't know how much longer it lasts. But that's fine, because I'm going to eat up my leftovers. Go away. One thing I love about being out in the desert like this, it is so amazingly quiet. So still. There's a tiny bit of a breeze right now. So I'm on this road that I'm on right now, which is a dead end road, except for it does actually go somewhere, but the place it goes isn't open. I've only seen 2 vehicles and I've been here for hours. I saw one going this way and one going that way. They were pickup trucks. I actually think that maybe it was like a shift change or something, because they stopped up ahead and like had a whole little conversation and then they went on. I don't know. But it was kind of interesting. They didn't have the one going this way didn't have any labels on their cars. The one going this way, I think, did, but I didn't notice what it was on. But yeah, it's like nothing, nobody. It's cooled off and that is starting to look ominous. It is going to rain tonight. I will not be here. I will be on the interstate at a rest stop. But yeah. It cooled off and the sun is going behind those mountains, and yeah, it's getting a little ominous.
Your destination is on the right.
Good morning. So I am showered and clean. It is Thursday. Last time I showered was Monday, so very nice. Not that I didn't do a little once over bathing, but so good to be clean. I'm in Bullhead City, Arizona, and I was able to get inexpensive gas. Yay. I mean, like half price. Maybe of the last gas I got. So I'm clean. Today is kind of an errand day. So I'm planning to do laundry. So I will find a laundromat around here that has half decent reviews and do laundry. I want to go to like a dollar store or grocery store and get ghee and tortilla chips. And then I just am going to be doing my normal working in school and all those kind of things. I have client work to do. I will also check client emails, and then I have an art assignment due, and oh yeah, I have a lab due for oceanography. So yeah, so it is actually, there's actually a nice, like we're in a valley with desert mountains around. It is pretty out there. This morning though, driving down the road to get to here, which was like a state highway, there was so many standing puddles because it rained during the night. It didn't even rain that much, but they do not have drainage here apparently. So I was driving in the dark and there were like, yeah, there was many standing puddles that I had to through. I didn't even know they were there. Couldn't see them. You know, it is what it is, right? So anyway, I have no idea where I'm going to spend the night tonight. I don't know what I'm going to be doing after I do all these errands and things. So I haven't decided if I'm going to go towards Death Valley because the road is open now. It was closed to go to the things I wanted to do, but it looks like it's open. Or if I'm going to go over to 395. I haven't decided yet. I just checked and the internet is not fast here, AT&T. I had faster internet when I was literally in the middle of the desert. I think it's because I was along the interstate and they have towers along the interstate, and here I'm like, I don't know, maybe 15 miles or something from the interstate. And yeah, it's really slow. The upload's a little bit better. The download is like 5 compared to 100. Like, wow. No matter what I end up doing, I will be going back to the desert tonight. And I don't know which vector I'm going to be going on or how far I will go. But the fact that the internet is slow here does not make me want to stay here to work. It's funny, like there are times where, yeah, like being in a town isn't make it any better to work. Yeah, so here's my haul from, well, mostly Dollar Tree, but also Safeway. So I had to go to Safeway to get ghee, which is not cheap at Safeway. It is organic, which I think is good. But I had to go, sometimes they have it at Dollar Tree, but they did not today, and I need it. So I had to get that. All right, at Dollar Tree, I wanted some tortilla chips. I don't have any chips. I have one bag of potato chips, but I'm gonna use this for actual meals. So I have tortillas, and then I also want tortilla chips, and then the idea is I'll have the thing where I make cook once, eat twice. And so I'll have one thing where I have it with, tacos, and the other I'll have a bowl and I'll add tortilla chips. So that's my idea for there. Parmesan cheese, I decided to get some, this will be shelf stable until I open it, Parmesan cheese, because that can be a great additive for many, many things. I ate this, so I'm buying it to replace the thing that I ate. I finished off my applesauce, so I bought more applesauces. I got the little snack cakes. I've never had these. I don't know if they're good or not, but I don't have any things like this. So I decided to get one of those, and we're going to try that out and see if it's good. And then I got a couple spice mixes. So this is really to eat with when I cook the rice and the broccoli and chicken or whatever in my rice cooker. I need spices to put on it. So I wanted different things. So I'm not eating the exact same flavor profile all the time. When I lived in an apartment, I would always have I had a huge spice cabinet that actually is still in a container in my significant other's garage. And I would use individual spices and make my own, combinations. But that doesn't really make sense from a space perspective when in a car. So I bought some lemon pepper seasoning. Then this is salt, citric acid, sugar, garlic, onion, black pepper, blah, blah, blah. And of course, lemon oil to make it lemony. So we'll try that out. And then I also got just garlic and herb seasoning. And the number one thing in here is garlic. So it's garlic, black pepper, onion, citric acid, crushed red pepper, parsley, lemon oil, and then an anti-caking agent. So this one has no salt, which is good. It's good to have some things that have no salt in them, because this one, the number one thing is salt. So really, this isn't lemon pepper seasoning. This is really lemon salt, lemon pepper salt is really what this is. But I don't have any lemony combinations back there. Normally I would have lemon pepper, salt. That was like a thing that was a staple. And then garlic and herb seasoning is nice too. Like one of the things is I love spicy food, but I don't want literally everything to be spicy, because then I don't want it anymore. And then I got one more thing that is going to be an experiment, which is I got some country gravy mix. You blend this with 1.5 cups of water. So my thought is I would use just, part of this at a time. And this could be some kind of sauce to go on something that I cook. And this was the kind of one thing I didn't need, but this is more of the experiment for in the future, that if I want to have something just be tasting different, because sometimes I just need something to taste different. So I'm not going to worry about putting this away until I get to the desert or somewhere that I end up later today. I'll put it away then, most likely, or at a rest stop or somewhere. I don't want to necessarily break out everything when I'm here in town. So I've kind of already decided I'm not going to hang out here in town to work, because they don't really have very fast internet here. So I'd rather be in the desert than be in town. 7:42 California time, which means it's 8:42 here. So the laundromat will be open that I kind of put on that I picked since it had half decent reviews. So I'm going to head down there and do all my laundry, which is kind of my normal thing I would do on this day. One thing I noticed is laundromats in San Francisco Bay Area, for the most part, are open like a lot earlier, like 6 a.m. And here it's like 8 or even 9. I'm like, wow. Also here, it seems like they have attendants. Where I live, I haven't been in a laundromat that had an attendant yet. So it is interesting, different places. I mean, just because you'd have to pay someone too much money there, I think. So everything is automatic. It's very interesting to be in a place of business and there's no people who work there. Yeah, so I went to 3 states this morning. I was at the place where Nevada comes down to kind of almost a point exactly. Maybe it actually is a point. And so I was in Arizona, which is where Planet Fitness was and where I did laundry and went to the store. And then I drove over and it was like a little teeny bit of Nevada and then back into California, which is where I'm at right now. I'm at a rest stop that's across the highway from the rest stop that I spent the night at last night. Mostly just because it's a place where I can regroup, go to the bathroom, eat a sandwich for lunch, an early lunch, because of course I was eating my lunch at 10:30 in the morning, and then kind of regroup. I actually decided to drop one of my classes. I realized that I have a bit too much work, and one of my classes I actually am not enjoying. Like, there's no point in me taking a class that I don't enjoy. I don't need to. And so that actually is also helpful because not just that I had too much stuff, but just like the way the assignments were structured and when they were due, it kind of meant that I was working on school stuff every single day, 7 days a week. That isn't, because I was looking at, when am I going to unplug in Death Valley? I wasn't going to have time. So now I will. So I obviously still have stuff to do today. It is, as I said, 10:53 in the morning, California time. That was a whole thing, going back and forth right across the border. My phone kept switching times constantly because I couldn't decide if I was in Arizona or Nevada or California. And so it was just like, it was very kind of confusing. That's one of the nice parts about having a non-smart watch, about having an old-fashioned watch, is it's California time. So I can always change, I can always just extrapolate where am I at in relationship to California time, but I know the time is in California and it doesn't change. I mean, except for daylight savings, obviously. Okay, I've relocated. I'm actually at the entrance. There's not really an entrance, but like where the sign is for Mojave Preserve. I could drive way far down, but I don't really see that there's a reason to. I'm actually on pavement right now. There's like a little display with a map and a sign. You can take your picture. And there's a little pull off right here. So I just pulled off. So I have two things that I already did some client work when I was at the rest stop, but the rest stop is really busy and noisy, and I don't think a good place to do art, so, or a good place to focus. So anyway, I'm going to work on stuff here, and my plan is that, so it's noon, around 3 I'm going to leave here, and then I'm going to go down the highway a bit more, down the interstate a bit more, to a different road in Mojave, and then drive across Mojave, and which will add, I don't know, an hour to my drive, but I think it's worth it because I haven't been down that way in a while. That's actually a road that's allegedly open, and I think I'll get to see Joshua trees. So I think that's the side, that other side is the side that has all the Joshua trees in it. So that is kind of my plan. So quiet out here. I let a couple people pass me because they were just like wanting to get somewhere. Like, this is the way I'm getting. I eventually need to go somewhere else to sleep, obviously. But yeah, this is just lovely out here. It's so quiet. Like this. There's trails going off, and it's a mental note to come back when my foot is not sprained so I can hike stuff. I'm not able to hike things right now, but that's okay, because you know what? I am scouting. Part of what I'm doing is scouting. I'm scouting for where I'm going to come back to, where is good internet, where I can work from random spots in the desert, like I was working today and yesterday. Where are places I want to go hike? Where are places where there are no people? What are the good rest stops to sleep at? And not. Those are not good. My judgment of good, one of my big things is having good light. It doesn't need to be a fancy bathroom or any of that jazz, but you know what? It needs to not be creepy. Like dark, super dark is creepy, and also random men asking me for cigarettes. Creepy. And it was mostly because the guy came out. Like if I had been out walking around, that actually wouldn't have bothered me. What bothered me is that I was sitting in my car minding my own business. He came and knocked on my window. That is just interfering with someone's space. Now, I actually think the guy was probably not a bad guy. Probably just literally wanted a cigarette. That's most likely the truth, but it was creepy as someone who did not have good boundaries. Did not have good boundaries. All right, I'm off to continue my lovely drive. There's the sand dunes that I wanted to go to, but yet again, I'm driving back them and not going there. Not because of my foot. Like, there's no point in driving all the way down the gravel road, which may or may not be okay right now after it raining, but putting that aside, when I can't actually do the hike, you know? So, however, sometime I will come back here. Now, also, this is one of the big places I'm going to come back to when I have high clearance all-wheel drive. One of the things that's kind of my long-term plan is to eventually get to the point with my law clients where I'm not having to go on there all the time, you know, and I can take more time off for extended periods of time. Now, technically I could do that now. I could just tell my clients I'm not taking any new clients for a month or two, and I actually did that when I first moved into my car, which was the right decision at the time because I needed to just focus on dealing with moving out of my place and getting rid of all my stuff and moving into the car. But right now, I'm kind of doing client work almost every day. Eventually, in the very, very long term, I do eventually plan to shut down my law firm, but not anytime soon, and I'm not going to ditch any of my clients. One of the things about trademark work is that if I take on a trademark client and I start doing work for them, I'm committing to at least a year and a half, if not 2 or 3 years. So every new trademark client I take on, that's putting off me shutting down my law firm years and years more. But, and I might get to the point where I stop taking new clients, but I have to replace that income with something else. Now, part of it is also reducing my expenses. Once I pay off my debt, I'll have fewer expenses, you know, so there's that too. That's part of that multiple year time frame. One thing that's weird about going to a preserve is that preserves are multi-use. So if you go to a national park, it's just a national park. And I think that's true of national monuments too. But preserves are different. Preserves are multi-use. So you can see there's part of this area that is wilderness. But a lot of this is not. It has roads going through it. It has power lines. Some places there can be hunting. Some preserves, there's mining. I mean, there's uses that are not just Calso Dunes Road 1/4 mile. Okay, so here's the road. It's 3 miles. Yeah, that's a gravel road. It actually looked pretty good shape. So, future reference. It's a gravel road, but it's in pretty good shape. And you go down it for 3 miles to get to the dunes. And then I think it's a 3-mile hike or something like that. But then if you keep going on the road a little bit farther past the parking lot for the dunes, there's dispersed camping. And people did say on iOverlander that you don't need high clearance you don't need like true four-wheel drive to get to that stuff. There's enough right there. So I have 1 bar of 5G, but I can't make it do anything. So not very useful 5G. So probably not a place to work, but a good place to camp. I had to stop for a second so I could eat some applesauce. And the visitor center is closed. It got damaged during that hurricane, but I was just curious if I could actually park here. They do have some porta potties, which I'm fine with because I peed outside in the middle of the desert. But, which I actually really like being in the middle of the desert because you're just like, oh, you need to go to the bathroom? Just go. Because I'm in the middle of nothing, you know. Anyway, you can't camp here. Drones are prohibited, but it is nice to know that there's a parking lot with a couple of porta potties that look, I don't think they're nice, but they're existing. This is what I'm talking about. This is the Joshua Tree Forest. This is what I wanted to see here.